Welcome to another session of Aloka Dhamma discussion to our studio. Today, as always, with great gratitude, I welcome Venerable Sri Lanka to our studio to have our discussion. We've been discussing about multiple topics in past few months, and last week we discussed about the importance of not overdoing anything. When we see the reason for doing things more than what we can do, or to overdo things, we do that because we don't know our limits. We are not aware of our limits. It is very important to master the art of self-assessment and self-realization to understand our limits. Venerable Kalana Dasanatero, sir, how Buddhism helping us in understanding our limits?
With respect to Venerable Mahasangha, Mr. Kargala, and the devotees, everyone is born with set of abilities and skills, and also with some limitations according to their accumulated karma from their previous lives. And if someone wants to go beyond their limits, they must put in the necessary effort. Otherwise, they will never be able to surpass their limits. Dear devotees, because of the merits of the past lives, some people born with the ability to attain great results in their meditation and attain fruition, like becoming a once returner, non-returner, and even an arahant. But as they do not self-assess themselves, they are unable to realize their abilities and miss that opportunity. A great example for this is the story of Mahadana, the treasurer's son, which we discussed in a previous session. Seeing the pathetic state that Mahadana was in, after wasting both his and his wife's wealth, Lord Buddha said to Ananda Thero, Ananda, if this man in his prime life had not squandered his wealth, but had applied it to his business, then he would have become the wealthiest person in the city. If he had abandoned all worldly desires and retreated from the world and became a monk, then he could have attained the supreme state of arahantship, and his wife would have attained fruition of the third path, also known as anagami level or non-returner. Then the Lord Buddha continued, Ananda, if in his middle age he had not squandered his wealth, but used it to develop his business, then he would have become the second wealthiest in the city. And if he had entered the order of Sangha, then he would have attained the state of Anagami, and his wife would have attained the state of Sakradagami, also known as once returner. Lastly, the Lord Buddha said, Ananda, even in the latter years of his life, if he had not wasted his wealth and used it for his business, even then he could have become the third most wealthiest person in the city. And if he had entered the dispensation, then he could have attained the state of Sakardagami, and his wife would have attained the state of Sovan, so-called stream enterer. But Ananda, now he has neither the ability to become successful in his lay life or his spiritual life. Dear devotees, if we look at this story, we can understand that one of the reasons Mahadana to be unsuccessful is because he didn't know the limits he was born with or the opportunities he was born with. And because of this, he lived a very miserable life. So, to understand our limits and to do a self-assessment, what we need is yoniso manasikara, so-called wise attention. And to develop yoniso manasikara, we need three things. Saddhamma savana, being a listener of the Lord Buddha's teachings. And the second one is sappurisa sevana, associating with wise and noble people. Third one is the Shraddha, a genuine faith about the Lord Buddha, his teachings, and the order of Sangha. Dear devotees, an interesting fact is that all three of these are interconnected because they all help to develop each other. Mr. Karagala, even if someone doesn't have the opportunities because of their karma or his karma, if they make right effort, they can still attain fruition or success in both their mundane life and their supramundane life.
Well, whenever so you mention about the merits of the past life, which is karma, but unfortunately when something goes wrong or if we fail, one of the usual things we always say is it is our karma. Is it right to say that always and make ourselves comfortable of failing and giving a bit of a bribe to our mind, saying that this is fine, we wouldn't have done it better? And is there any way we can surpass our karma and become successful according to Buddhist philosophy?
Mr. Karagala, in the Anguttara Nikaya Chatukka Nipata, there is a sutta named Palupajivi Puggala Sutra. In this sutta, Lord Buddha preached that there are four kinds of people in this world. Uttana Palupajivi na Kamma Palupajivi. Kamma Palupajivi na Uttana Palupajivi. Uttana Palupajivi cha Kamma Palupajivi cha. Ne Uttana Palupajivi, neva Kamma Palupajivi. Now let's look at these people individually. Dear devotees, the first person is Uttana Palupajivi na Kamma Palupajivi. He is someone who works very hard and lives off his effort and not on his karma. For example, let's say someone is born into a very poor family. Instead of giving up, what he does is he studies really hard and eventually he gets a good occupation and lives a prosperous life. Here, even though he wasn't born with good karma, he still is able to achieve success with his effort. This is the first kind of person that can be found in this world. The second type of people that can be found are Kamma Palupajivi na Uttana Palupajivi. These people do not work hard and put in effort, but they live off their good karma. For example, let's say someone is born into a very wealthy family. Instead of studying or helping the family business, what he does is he enjoys the wealth accumulated by his family and lives a good life. Here he lives off his karma from his previous births. This is the second type of people. Dear devotees, the next type of person is Uttana Palupajivicha Kamma Palupajivicha. Now this one is very important and we should also strive to become like him. Because even though this person has good karma, he doesn't stay idle without doing anything. Instead, he puts in effort as well and lives off both his effort and karma. For example, someone might be born with the qualifications to attain anagami or non-returner level. But after attaining it, he doesn't stop there and puts in great effort and reaches the state of enlightenment. Here, even though he was born with good karma and was able to attain the level of non-returner, he is not stopping there and having a great effort to become successful. He lives off both his karma and effort. Dear devotees, the last type of people that can be found are Nevuttana Palupa Jivi, Neva Kamma Palupa Jivi. These are the type of people we should never hope to be. These people are born with bad karma because of things they did in their previous lives. But not only that, they don't put in any effort at all and try to become successful. These people live neither with their effort or karma. If I am to give an example, there are some people who are born without any qualities to attain fruition in their meditation. But the worst thing is that they don't even try to meditate. They live a life just like the wind. They go in whichever direction the wind takes them. They have no goal in their life at all. This is the fourth and last type of people found in this world. So, Mr. Karagala, what I want to say is, we should never give up trying to surpass our limits, even after knowing them. It doesn't matter what limits you are born with. You should always put in effort. Although you might not be able to attain enlightenment in this life because of your karma, but your effort will definitely help you in your next life.
So, well, it's very clear to us that when you know what you have and what you don't have, and when you know your limits, you will definitely make informed decisions and will play within your boundaries. But it's important to understand, having said that we have to play within our boundaries, that should not make you to reduce your potential. You have to go for your maximum potential. It's a balance. So if you understand this art well, you will definitely, but steadily and slowly, but definitely go towards your success. If not, you will definitely end up failing and destroying yourself and your team. So with that, I will turn to another topic. And as corporate leaders, one of the most important skill and a thing we have to do is talking to our teams. As a good leader, you should always speak what is factual and speak according to your values and your goals. And when you do that, it will develop the trust among your team about yourselves. And communicating thoughtfully will help you to unite your team, which is the most important thing as a leader we have to do, and heal the issues if there is any. How can we ensure we always practice the right speech by following Buddhist teaching?
Mr. Karagala, according to Buddhism, right speech is divided into 4 components. They are abstaining from false speech, musavada veramani; abstaining from slanderous speech, pisunavacha veramani; abstaining from harsh speech, parusavacha veramani; and the last one, abstaining from idle chatter, samprappalapa veramani. Now, according to Buddhism, if someone refrains from doing these 4 speeches, then that person will have right speech. And dear devotees, the most severe of these 4 types of speech is false speech. Everyone is used to telling lies as jokes. But even this should not be done. The Blessed One often advised young Rahula Thero in order to prevent such things from happening. One such story where Lord Buddha advised Rahula Thero is once when young Rahula Thero was residing at Ambalattika, the Lord Buddha visited there. Rahula Thero saw the Blessed One coming and prepared a seat and water to wash the Buddha's feet. After Lord Buddha arrived, he washed his feet but left some water in the vessel and sat down. There the Lord Buddha addressed the Rahula Thero and asked, Rahula, do you see the little bit of water remaining in this vessel? Rahula Thero replied, Lord Buddha, yes, I do. There the Lord Buddha said, Rahula, if someone is so shameless as to lie purposely, then that person's monkhood is as little as the water here. After saying this, the Blessed One discarded the remaining water and again asked Rahula Thero, Rahula, do you see the discarded water? Again Rahula Thero replied, Lord Buddha, yes, I do. The Lord Buddha advised again, Rahula, if someone is so shameless as to lie purposely, then that person's monkhood is similarly discarded. Again, Lord Buddha turned the vessel upside down and said, Rahula, if someone tells lies purposely, that person's monkhood is similarly turned upside down. Then the Lord Buddha turned the vessel upright and said, Rahula, if someone lies purposely, then their monkhood is as empty as this vessel. Finally, the Lord Buddha said, Rahula, as long as the king's elephants taken to the battlefield protects its trunk by putting it in their mouths and fights with their other body parts, then that means these elephants haven't gave up on their life. But if they use their trunks to fight as well, then that means they have given up on living. Therefore, there is nothing that those elephants will not do. Rahula, in the same manner, if there is a bhikkhu who is so shameless as to lie purposely, then there is no sin that he will not commit. Therefore, Rahula, you must be disciplined as not to lie even for fun. Dear devotees, that is why the Lord Buddha preached in Dhammapada Lokavagga, Ekang Dhammang Atitassa Musavadissa Jantuno Vitinna Paralokassa Natti Papang Akaryam. The meaning is, there is no sin that cannot be done by a person who has given up the singular quality of truthfulness and expectations of a world hereafter. Mr. Karagala, what I am trying to say is, to have right speech, we need to abstain from false speech, slanderous speech, harsh speech, and idle chatting. But we need to show special attention to abstain from lying, because many people think that doing it for fun isn't a bad thing. But what the Lord Buddha has said is, if someone doesn't abstain from lying, then there is no wrongdoing or unwholesome action that he will not commit.
So, Venerable Kalandasana Thero explain in detail about the importance of the truthfulness or abstaining from false speech. Venerable Sir, as you already know, explained about the importance of abstaining from false speech, lying or musavada. I would like to ask from you, how is Buddhism defining this, the lying or the false speech?
Mr. Karagala, to have right speech, we specially need to abstain from false speech, or in other words, lying. But what is the meaning of lying? If I am to give some examples indicating what is there as not there, or what is not there as there. Saying or indicating what happened as something that didn't happen, or what did not happen as something that actually occurred. So these are the definitions. Dear devotees, people think that the only way that someone can lie is by saying something directly. But that is not true. False speech can be done by word, through mouth, writing, or even hand signs, with the intention of deceiving others. Now I would like to say something very interesting. Even if we lie with the intention to deceive someone, it might not necessarily become a lie. What is the reason for this? Common knowledge is that if we say something false to deceive someone, then it is a lie. But dear devotees, according to Buddhism, there are 4 factors that need to be fulfilled in order for a lie to become a lie. What are these 4? Let's look at them one by one. The first one is something that we all know, and that is, what we are saying needs to be false even if we have the intention to deceive someone. But if what we say is the truth, then it will not be a lie. The second one is also something that you all are well aware of, and that is the intent to deceive others. Just as before, even if what we are saying is a lie, if the person saying it thinks that what he is saying is true, then it doesn't become a lie either. The third one is, while telling the lie, the attempt to convince others that what you are saying is the truth. For example, you can say things like, this person told me, or I heard in the news, I saw in the newspaper, or this can be found in this book. Likewise, someone attempts in order to convince others that what he is saying is true. So dear devotees, the last one is, if the other person or the one being lied to doesn't believe it as a lie, then that doesn't become a lie either. Even if what someone saying is a lie, even if he has the intention and attempt to convince his lie, no matter what they do, if the person being lied to doesn't believe it, then it doesn't become a lie. If I were to give an example, let's say someone you really hate or your enemy comes to you and tells you a lie. You might not know that what he is saying is actually a lie or not, but you still don't believe it because of your anger or grudge. Now here, the enemy doesn't generate any demerits, even though he has fulfilled all 3 previously mentioned factors. Mr. Karagala, demerits will not generate if the lie is said in an unknown language, if not heard properly, or if the listener does not understand it. Another thing is, if a lie is uttered by mistake, then it too will not generate demerits. Also, if a promise made with the intention of fulfilling it, but because of certain reason you fail to do it, since you had the intention to do it, it will not become a lie either. But if anyone makes a promise with no intention of fulfilling it, then demerits are generated the very moment the promise is made. There is no relief even if the promise is fulfilled later. So, dear devotees, let's say someone is forced to lie, then demerits are generated to both the liar and the person who forced him to do it. If someone carries a false letter but doesn't know the content, then the demerit only generates to the writer. People who write newspapers, books, or even posts in social media needs to be very careful, because if what they write is false, every time someone is deceived by it, the writer will generate demerits. So what I finally want to say is, no matter what, we should not lie, because only then we can practice right speech and become happy.
So, today we discuss a very simple thing, yet a very, very important and a common mistake all of us do, which is the word which is coming out of our mouth. So one of the biggest reason, if you get into the root cause in this society, to have the simple, starting from simple family issues to organizational issues, or even the issues in the political arena, most of those things starts from a word or from words and the way we manage words. So it's very important to understand from the point of view of our religion, from the Buddhism, how why it is important and how we can abstain from speaking wrong words and lies. That brings to an end of another productive discussion of Aloka Dhamma program, and as always, with great gratitude, I thank Venerable Sri Lanka Kalanadasan for being here with us in sharing the wealth of knowledge with all of us. And I hope, as always, we've been fulfilling this objective of distributing the Buddhism across the globe along with the Mallasekara Foundation, and I hope we have done justice to your time, and I thank all of you for joining with us. Therwan Sarnai.